It all began in Axum. Some 3,000 years ago, Queen Sheba ruled the region from its capital, Axum. This ruined palace, locally known as Dengur, was the very site of her imperial residence.
I was very surprised to see the palace here and to hear about the history. I read something in Germany about the history. It's a great impression to see that the culture was very, very high in this area of Africa long years ago, now, centuries ago. I was very surprised.
One can also see the Queen's Bath, Mai Shum, at the northeastern tip of the city. Axum is a city whose numerous mysteries remain largely undeciphered. One of its best-kept secrets is the presence of the lost original Ark of the Covenant of God, which is believed to contain the stone tablets on which God inscribed the Ten Commandments. The Ark was brought to Axum from Jerusalem after the visit to the Holy City by Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and Queen Sheba. Ever since then, the holy object has been safely kept here. This makes Axum one of the most sacred cities on earth.
This was representation, Menelik I, son of Solomon and the son of Queen of Sheba. This was the son of priest Sadiq, priest Azarias, who was carrying the original Ark of the Covenant.
As the epicenter of the Axumite civilization, Axum was famous for its economic prosperity, architectural ingenuity and cultural vibrancy. Arguably, the obelisks at the ancient city of Axum are the best-known legacies of this great civilization. Beneath these obelisks are found royal tombs, and what is certain is that these obelisks have no comparison anywhere in the world, being the largest single stones erected anywhere. The largest and heaviest of all is the fallen obelisk. Decorated on all of its four sides, this 13-story obelisk is 33 meters high and 4 meters wide. Its estimated weight exceeds 500 tons.
Axum is the first kingdom of Ethiopia, first civilization. So I think, looking at this, you get the feeling that yes, it was a very powerful civilization.
With 11 stories, the second largest obelisk is 26 meters high. It is decorated on four sides too. Looted by fascist Italy in 1937, it was taken to Rome in 3 pieces. It took 7 decades before Italy finally gave in to the intense diplomatic and popular pressure from Ethiopia and friends of Ethiopia to return the stolen obelisk to its rightful owners. This is the third largest and still standing obelisk. This 10-story obelisk has remained in the same place and position ever since its erection, though its apparent tilting has caused a lot of concern among Ethiopians in recent years. These unique and magnificent obelisks represent Axum's technological superiority. Even today, no one knows how these massive monolithic edifices were quarried, transported or erected.
I'm surprised that I didn't know more about this place before I came here, really, because it has some incredible sights. It's very different. It's like nothing I've ever really seen before. So to me, it's very interesting, and the amount of archaeological information, particularly in the museum, is very interesting as well. It seems that it's a very early period of time.
Axum is Ethiopia's Christian capital. Built in the 4th century AD, the original church of St. Mary of Zion at Axum was the first church in sub-Saharan Africa and perhaps one of the earliest and most revered churches in the world. The most recent church was built in 1965 by Emperor Haile Selassie and was inaugurated in the presence of Queen Elizabeth II of England. The city of Axum serves as a base for visiting a number of historical and religious sites, including those in and around Yeha and Adwa. One of Tigray's unique edifices of great historical, archaeological and architectural significance is the temple at Yeha. About 60 kilometers east of Axum, the temple at Yeha is thought to have been built in the 8th century before the birth of Christ. Standing for more than 2.5 millennia, it is the oldest building in sub-Saharan Africa. It is a magnificent structure, remarkable for, among other things, its structural strength, geometrical perfection, and architectural beauty. Yeha was the center of the Da'amat kingdom that existed before Axum. After the advent of Christianity, Abuna Atsi, one of the 9 saints who did much to spread Christianity in Ethiopia, built his monastery here next to the ancient temple. Over the centuries, Yeha has attracted several international travelers, including the Portuguese Francisco Alvarez, the Scottish James Bruce, and the British Henry Salt, who visited Yeha in the 16th, 18th and 19th centuries respectively.
Just an amazing thing to see how old it is. The structure of the temple was just incredible, with all the beautiful huge stones and no cement. Come to Ethiopia because it's a beautiful country, and the ancient places are very well worth seeing, and the people are beautiful.
Very close to Yeha, the site of the Battle of Adwa can be visited without the need for much walking. It was right here in the cleavage of these dramatic mountains, the teeth of Adwa, where the fate of our nation was decided in 1896. Here the ill-equipped and ill-trained Ethiopian militias, drawn from all over the country, delivered a stunning rebuff to the colonial ambitions of Italy and triumphed over an invading modern Western army. Today, Adwa remains a symbol of resistance that preserved the independence of this ancient country. A milestone in African history, the glorious victory of Adwa also inspired the black people around the world to stand up and fight for their freedom. Medhani Alam Church is one of Adwa's remarkable places of Christian worship. It is rich in its wealth of treasures, wall paintings and parchment manuscripts. The entire neighborhood where the church is located is named after the church, and it is customary for the residents of the neighborhood to identify themselves as the sons or daughters of Enda Medhani Alam. Dedicated to one of the 9 saints, the Church of Abba Garima has both religious and historical significance. As a site of one of the earliest churches in Ethiopia, its role in spreading Christianity to the rest of the country was enormous. The illustrated 6th century Gospel, the only one of its kind, is one of the most notable treasures of the church. Less than 5 kilometers southeast of the Battle of Adwa, the church has gained additional significance for being the burial place of Ras Alula Abanega, the famous Ethiopian military commander who defeated the invading Italian army. Built in the 6th century by King Gebre Meskel, Debre Damo is the country's most famous monastery. Best known for its Christian scholarship, remote location and rich collection of ecclesiastical treasures, the monastery of Debre Damo stands out as a site of totally genuine, authentic monastic life. Young monks from all corners of the country flock to Debre Damo in pursuit of Christian learning. Even today, the monastery is viewed as the Harvard of Christian scholarship. Isolated from the world and surrounded by sheer cliffs, the monastery is situated on a very high plateau. The church can only be accessed by this 15-meter plaited rope, which is hanging down from the top of the cliff. Inexperienced visitors need to tie the additional rope provided by the church around their waists and climb up the rough cliff.
There is like a monastery, many monks, there are 2 churches. Something that I found interesting is how they collect water, because there is no springs on top of this, so they have huge basins, so this looks very nice. And there is what looks like a village. It is surprising to see that on top of the hill.
According to oral tradition, the rope symbolizes the serpent that was commanded by God to safely convey the founder of the monastery to the top of the mountain. An estimated 300 monks and their students live here in these stone and mud monastic dwellings, or hidmos, a common style of construction in rural Tigray. Indeed, Debradamo has become a synonym for monasticism in Ethiopia. According to the renowned Ethiopianist Richard Pankhurst, Debradamo takes today's traveller into a past age and leaves him with a deeper understanding of Ethiopia's age-old and unique civilization than mere words can give. Its founder, Abuna Aragawi, one of the 9 saints, is believed to have vanished up to heaven from the holy site where he was teaching. One of the best-known rock-hewn churches in central Tigray is Mariam Ukro. Domes, double arches, an unsupported median pendant, large freestanding columns and their bracket capitals are among the most important features of this church. Unique in several aspects, Mariam Ukro is architecturally in a class of its own. Tembian is located in south-central Tigray. With its range of mountains, deep gorges and flowing rivers, Tembian provides many examples of the striking natural beauty for which Tigray is rightly proud. It also houses the region's only hydropower dam and the man-made lake upstream. The Mekele Awi Adi Adwa Road takes the traveller through a scenic terrain. One could take a short detour from the road to visit some of the rock-hewn churches in the area. Abu Yohani is perhaps the most famous rock-hewn church in Tembian. Carved out of a sharp rocky cliff, the church has several columns, domes and arches. It is believed to have been built in the 14th century. Gabriel Wukian and Tekla Hymenot Temba are among other notable heritage sites in Tembian. What is also special about Tembian is its unique dance known as Auris. Unlike the main Tigrinya dancing, which involves slow step-by-step rhythmic walking accompanied by shaking of the shoulders, Auris is a dance of couples for men and women and involves relatively fast jumping up and sideways movements. Tembian is also the birthplace of several brave African heroes that fought to defend the independence of our nation. Emperor Johannes IV on various occasions repelled the aggression of, among others, the Egyptians and Turks. Ras Alula, perhaps the most famous African military commander of all time, was also born here. Visitors to Tembien can stay at the recently inaugurated Mailomin Lodge.